Hi everyone, and welcome to the Creative Cast. My name is Lucas Hammann, and this week we got someone from Düsseldorf again. It has been quite some time since we had someone local on the show, and she has been for quite some time a creator and a project and culture manager for different events. For example, the Berlinale in Berlin, and since 2017 she founded her own company called Change Animal, where she works as a facilitator, a digital host, where she manages and coaches projects and teams. I'm excited to talk with you. We got Christine Von Fragstein with us. Welcome.
Thank you for the invitation, Lucas.
All right. Let's kick things off with hearing a bit of your background and how you ended up becoming basically or founding your own company around this.
Yeah, my name is Christine von Fragstein. I'm based in Düsseldorf, as Lucas mentioned, but actually I consider myself a cosmopolitan because I've been working in the EU region, in the European region for many, many years in international projects. Basically, I studied culture management. And later on, I went into the film business and I directed and invented and created many different projects for film festivals and for cultural initiatives all around Europe.
Okay, so far so good.
Yeah, maybe I mentioned some of them. I'm the founding director of Berlinale Talents, which is an initiative for young filmmakers from all over the world.
Okay.
And later on, I curated the programs for the Zurich Film Festival. I invented a children's film festival for Zurich and worked for the cultural cities, for example, for the Ruhr region here in Germany, and proceeded as a project manager for like 15 international projects.
I see. I'm interested in you like specifically, like where your personal ambitions or reasons that you're doing this?
As a young girl, I was very much attracted by art. I was very into cinema, European cinema. I worked in cinemas in my hometown in south of Germany. And I always felt like, I want to go to the theater. I want to travel a lot. I want to meet people from different regions and cultures and international backgrounds. And this was like a dream. And despite coming from a rather provincial, rather village region, I thought, well, let's go to Cologne, study arts or study cultural management and travel a lot. And actually, I started as you, Lucas, I started as a photographer.
Ooh, okay.
So I was traveling a lot and doing exhibitions about India and Latin America. And later on, after my studies in Germany, in Cologne, I decided to go into the creative industries. And first I worked for a film fund, the Filmstiftung NRW, which is our regional film fund. And I met a lot of directors and super cool producers. And I thought this is exactly the sea I want to swim in.
Okay, so you found, a good place where you can play out your skills. Okay, nice. And so you did that for quite a while, and then you 2017 arrived and you thought, okay, I need a change in my life. How did that happen?
What happened actually, I had been working like for 18 years as a project manager with 15 international projects. And I thought this has become so much as a routine. So I would like to explore some more on the communication side of the creative industries.
Okay.
And what I perceived all over those years and observed is that the communication skills and the team management is so crucial about the success of projects that I decided to study in two more fields, one in the systemic and hypnosystemic coaching scene, and the second as a facilitator. A facilitator is like a moderator for change processes. And a facilitator is enabling and empowering and easing change management processes. Which means like a moderator, like giving a good frame for good communication. And I thought I want to be on the meta level much more than on the operative level. And I decided to create my company, which is called Change Animal. And I always said I used to be a party animal. Now I'm a change animal.
I love that. Okay. What does it stand for? What does it mean? Why change animal?
Yeah, anima is like the soul, the soul of change. Anima comes from Latin. And change, of course, is transformation, empowerment, and a lot of courage to develop new ideas and changing current systems. So I thought the anima, the soul of change, or the change animal, because I'm also working with lots of animal illustrations from Sweden in my company as affirmations and like metaphoric pictures. So change animal is like the soul for transformation.
Okay, love that. And so you basically help companies in different areas, right, to improve on their communicational and creative problems to get to their goals faster. Why are they lacking? Why is like specific things you see them struggling with that you help them?
I'm currently helping many institutions and foundations to develop a new strategy, a vision, how to cope with the pandemic system, for example, the pandemic situation right now. And maybe I can give you a little example. I'm working for the Cultural Ministry of North Rhine-Westphalia right now. We have like 50 different film festivals and film institutions in North Rhine-Westphalia. And they all had to cope with the situation that their initiatives, seminars, festivals could not be produced in a present and analog way anymore. So we built up an association for those film festivals, which is called the Netzwerk Filmkultur NRW. And they built up a network, and they are working together on solutions how to do festivals and seminars and all their offers in a digital way, and how to do a lot of lobbying and a lot of political work for film culture in our state.
Okay. And how to maybe also communicate that properly to their audience?
Yeah, to communicate audience, to share ideas, to find synergies, because they all have the same challenges. How can we, first of all, develop our programs in a digital way? Secondly, how can we reach new audiences, or still our audience, despite we cannot invite them into our institutions and into our cinemas? And third, how can we reach out to political and decision makers and convince them how important film culture is for our region?
So I got to know you thanks to one of your personal projects called Outdoor Listening Düsseldorf. Basically the English translation, right? In German it's called draußen zuhören.
Zuhören draußen.
Zuhören draußen.
Zuhören draußen. Listening outside. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm interested how this plays in what you're doing right now.
Mm-hmm. This is a project that I founded together with my virtual circle for the creative industries. Mm-hmm. In April 2020, I established a new forum, which is called the Virtual Circle for Creative Industries. Mm-hmm. And I invited all the people that could not meet each other anymore into a digital realm on Zoom. Mm. And we exchanged methods, ideas, tools that empower our work despite the pandemic situation. And we had like 70 events in 1.5 years, every Wednesday morning. Okay. First coffee, 8:30 to 9:45. And we were thinking, what can we as creative do to help the society, help people who are really by themselves and very lonesome? Mm-hmm. How can we reach out and help as creatives to go outside and listen to people? And we had a wonderful keynote by Alexandra Pell from Bonn. And she's working for Urban Listening and Sidewalk Talks, which are international initiatives all around listening in the public space. Mm-hmm. And there's also a kiosk. What is kiosk in English?
That's a good question. It's like a small shop.
Store. Yeah. So there's a listening shop in Hamburg and in Berlin, where you cannot buy anything, but you can find someone who really listens to you and your thoughts and your ideas and your stories.
Go-to place to be listened to.
Yeah, Lucas, do you remember the free hug?
Yes.
Initiative. So what we established is like free listening, outdoor listening. Okay. We go outside and we offer people to listen to them, and really without any kind of validation, or we don't give advice. We just listen to the people. And we thought as creative, we have to do something for the for the society, because the political situation is as such that people lost a lot of trust in the political system. Yeah. And there's a lot of debate and clash and disruption. And we want to offer people a space where there's really somebody who listens with 2 ears, without any time limit, and without any further agenda, just listening to each other as an idea to build bridges and to find a better dialogue and a better understanding for each other outside of our bubbles.
Yeah. When you said free hugs, it's like it just clicked in my mind. I imagine people with t-shirts like free listening.
Yeah, free listening, yeah.
And I imagine that being actually not that easy for most people. Like that's a challenge, right? To like just actively listen without adding anything yourself. Do you train these people? What do you do?
Yeah, we have like 80 volunteers now, 80, and we train them in like introduction seminars. They have the possibility to go outside for a walk with people, just for half an hour or an hour, just to listen to them. And what we actually do is not only active listening, but empathetic listening, which means we just listen to someone and we also relate with the people, and we don't interrupt people. We don't evaluate what they're saying. We just listen, and with our entire presence and with an open heart, lots of respect, And there's a colleague from Azerbaijan just said, respect, listening is like the first sign of respect for someone.
Ooh.
Yeah, in our culture. I mean, he's from Azerbaijan, right? And he said, listening is for us the first sign for respect for someone.
That is powerful, for sure. And I couldn't agree more with that. Why you think this is actually necessary? Like, do you see a lack in society when it comes to this point?
I think we live in a very complex time. I think we live in a very disruptive time. We had a lot of discussions and clashes also in families, in neighborhoods, family and friends, about different ideas of, for example, how to cope with the pandemic situation. There were people who were very protective, people who were kind of hysteric. Others were quite relaxed. And also the question, how do we meet? Who will we meet? With how many people will we meet? Will we travel? Are we going to do any tests before we meet, etc.? And also the entire subject of vaccination was a huge discussion in our society. So we think listening is like the first step to understand each other in a better way. And if we all started again to listen thoroughly what our friends say, it would be easier, and we could be in a better relation with each other. And secondly, we can realize that we don't always have the same opinion, but we can still be friends.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to agree to respect each other.
Yeah.
I see. I'm just curious, like, why or what's the reason we stop listening to each other, which is like a big thing. Like, why do we do that? Is that like a psychological factor in there?
I think we are overwhelmed with the outdoor situation, with our external situation. We are overwhelmed with many challenges that we as a society and as also the politic has. We have climate change, we have the pandemic situation, we also have like economic situations. We have like, here in Europe, we have like a war coming up between Russia and Ukraine just next door. On the other hand, we have the entire subject of the refugees and how to deal and how to integrate 800,000 refugees in Germany. So at some point, and this is interesting, at some point, I think we are overwhelmed by so many complex challenges that we are facing. And I feel we just go to the core and the very first beginning by listening to each other. It takes time, but it's really important to us.
Okay. I'm just trying to picture the listener right now saying, okay, how can I improve my listening skills? What would you tell them?
Everybody is invited to do our introduction seminars and workshops. We do it every 2 weeks. We are organizing keynotes on listening in very different areas, like, for example, presencing and listening, like 4 levels of listening from MIT. Maybe you know the ULab from MIT, the Presencing Institute, Otto Scharmer. He is having a wonderful lab called ULab, which means change is like the first step into change is changing yourself.
Okay.
And he invented the ULab, and we are working also with instructors and experts from the ULab. And we are offering everybody, not only our volunteers, but also politicians, other cities. We are offering those workshops for free.
Okay. So that's considering for someone, to attend one of those. Could you give us maybe one or two tips so we can maybe try to improve on these ourselves on our own?
Yeah, if I have to pick maybe two little hints how to listen better.
Yes.
I would say just step back for a moment from your ego. Just step a little back and concentrate on an eye level on your counterpart, or how do you say, on the person you want to listen to. And look at the person and don't do anything in parallel. I mean, if I have my children like around in the afternoon, sitting somewhere or cooking, I'm not a good listener when I do two or three things parallel. So if I really want to sit, multitask is just, or playing on the smartphone, or doing anything in parallel. If you really want to listen thoroughly, just step back from your ego for a moment and just take your time.
Okay. Ooh. That sounds, okay. Yeah. It's easy said than done.
And third thing is don't interrupt. Yeah. And third thing is don't interrupt people unless it's not the right time to listen. Maybe it's not the right time. I'm talking about pacing. You need to have the time and the concentration to listen. And sometimes it would be even better if you said, you know what, I'm just finishing this and then I can listen to you.
Makes sense.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, just give your attention the value it has, really.
Full attention. Open heart.
What is that? What is that?
This is like the open sign.
Yes.
In my office, like open heart, open, be open.
And
there are times when we are closed and not in the shape to listen well. So better observe yourself and imagine, and think about the situation. Am I in a good shape to listen?
Yes. Now that you mentioned the sign behind you, pre-podcast, we briefly touched on that little piece of art you have hanging on your wall behind you. Yeah. What does that stand for? And I'm not sure if it has to do with listening or not. Yes? Okay, good. I was just like, I wasn't sure at all.
So how do you read it, Lukas?
Yeah, so when I saw it first time, I was like, Du willst alles. And I was like, is that even German? Like, what is that? And then you read it. I was like, okay. Felt so dumb.
Okay, and what do you see? What color has it, and what does it mean?
Okay, so right out of the gate, right? Because I have no idea what it stands for. It's in like a bold red, and it drips down like blood, sort of. and it's on a white background. It's just 3 words, and it's like a rectangle, and it gives me like horror movie vibes, pretty much.
So
that's my take on that.
Nice observation. So it means I want everything. You want everything. Du willst alles.
Yeah.
Means for me, I want to have everything. I want to travel to 55 countries. I want to work as a photographer. I want to work as a facilitator. I want to be a mother. I love sports. I love music. I want to see a lot of people, and I want to be really like this creative change animal that you also are. Also, our listeners are all, maybe eager to be creative and to be cosmopolitan and to be around and to gain new experience and not to stand there and do something like for 20, 25 years, but to explore all sorts of creativity. And this is what it's all about. And it's a wonderful pick by Chris Suko. He studied at the Academy of Arts in Düsseldorf, which is quite well known. And I know him personally, and I bought some of his artwork like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when he was not famous at all in the beginning. And now he's exhibiting all over the world. And it just means with this kind of color and like blood, that it takes a lot to have everything.
Sacrifice.
It takes a lot to explore everything, and it's not easy. And it's also like the lifeblood we have. Like it takes a lot of sweat and blood and tears to have and to conduct this kind of life. Don't you agree?
Yes, true. Now that you say this, it just clicks in my mind. Before it just didn't make sense.
And this is like our creative fate, right? It's our fate.
And
it's not easy. It's not always easy, and it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to conduct a creative or even an artist's life.
Yeah, a lot of like mental struggle for sure. I'd say that's like the biggest challenge. It's like you have to fight against yourself, and against your doubts. So. But that's the thing. I still don't understand why it's divided like that. Why the ST from Wilst is like broken up like that, so you can barely read it.
Yeah, maybe it's just that it's like an intervention into our usual seeing methods. I mean, it's art. I mean, everybody sees something different in this picture.
Okay. I mean, it works in the sense of it makes you stop and think, what is going on here?
Yeah. Exactly.
I see. It's like an eye catcher. All right, so that's how that plays into this. Getting back to the listening project of yours, and I was curious about the benefits of living and practicing a healthy way of listening when it comes to your private but also your work life, when friends, family, your partner, your professional colleagues. How is improving the skill, which is basically what it is a skill you can train and practice so you can become good at it, how that helps you in your life?
Listening can be trained like a muscle, like in training within sports, right? And the more thorough you listen, the better understanding you get from the persons around you. And it affects all kind of areas and bubbles you're in your family, in your microcosmos, in your neighborhood, with your parents, with, for example, colleagues or clients, even clients. If you're working with clients, and if you don't get the right understanding what they really need, you might offer them something they don't actually want. And listening has so many different levels and such a big influence on everybody's lives that I can just encourage everybody to try to listen, or try to build up listening capacities or competence in listening as much as he or she can.
Okay. So that is sort of the benefits when it comes to like the business side of it, right? That understand and prescribe, basically.
Yeah.
When it comes to your personal relationships, because good listening can, I would even say, make or break a relationship.
Well, I think listening is such a wonderful competence that you can discover even more. And as the Dalai Lama says, if you always talk and talk and talk, you won't gain any new insights. If you listen, you will learn something new. And this is also about the entire perception in our relationships, for example. If I only talk and talk and talk with my husband in the evenings, tell them what happened and blah, blah, blah. And if I don't ask him how he feels or what he, what kind of experience he had today, I will not really get in touch with him as thorough as I would ask him, well, how was your day? The same with children. When you raise children, listening is most important.
Yeah.
And if I interrupt them and tell them, you do this like this, and please do this and this, it's a different relationship you build up with your children, because you feel as a mother, or maybe if you don't listen, you pretend that you know much more than they know, and you're not on an eye level anymore. And in raising kids, it's at some stage, in some age, it's not about educating kids. It's about the relationship between you and your kid. And listening is the key competence for raising children.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Totally agree. I just had to think back on my childhood and how when I tried to let's say my parents tell them something about my life, and they would just knock it off and tell me how they did things, and this is how this is done, this and this and this, without really taking a second to understand my situation, my knowledge, and how I react to things. I felt so misunderstood, and it was so frustrating at times, right? I'm not trying to blame my parents over here, but but it happens. It happens not only with your parents, but it can happen with friends and with your loved one. And it really it's it feels like it even hurts a bit the trust you have in that person. You feel like this person doesn't really care. Or it seems like it, right? It just might be the way of behaving, and they're just not realizing, or not showing enough empathy, which might be a big word here. That's just how it feels to me right now.
So this is what I said in the beginning. If you take away the ego and put it in a cupboard somewhere else, and you step back a little bit, and you just listen thoroughly, you can build up trust and gain a lot of new insights, and really come to a better understanding and to a better dialogue, and maybe also to new experiences in all levels of our relationships, also with clients also.
This reminds me of
a quote. I'm probably butchering this now, but it went sort of like this. Good listening is the setting aside of oneself,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
basically is what you just said.
And our most famous poet, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, said, talking feels like a necessity for us, but listening is an art.
Ooh, damn.
So we are back to the arts.
Okay. Just damn good to just killing these things, motherfucker. Oh shit. All right. Nice. I love that. Let's move on and talk a little bit about your creative take on these topics, and especially how you deal with these yourself, your private life. So basically, it's two things. It's one, what does creativity mean to you? And two, how do you apply it to your life?
What does creativity mean for me? Creativity is like the beginning and the end of all process I'm doing. The processes that I'm moderating and facilitating, for example, with people, with creatives, with different initiatives, it's always about sharing and being open and participation, which means I, as a consultant, don't have the solution. I'm working with the system, which is called systemic coaching, right? Oh. I'm working with the system. So for example, if I go to a company and they have different challenges, struggles, I always ask the teams and the staff and all the employees, what do you think could be a solution to your challenges? What would you offer? So I'm doing highly participative process. I'm not the one coming and like preaching like a waterfall. You have to do this and this and this and this, and then you will solve your problems. So this form of moderation that I'm offering is a very creative aspect, because I'm trying to make a setup and a frame that people are encouraged to speak openly and frankly about their needs.
Yeah.
And this also creates a lot of creativity for solutions. So once you have like these factors that can lead you to your success, that you say everything we, for example, discuss here is confidential, and we can all speak openly, and we respect each other, we listen thoroughly, we don't interrupt anybody. This is all a sort of creativity and creative approach how to work with people. And my hypothesis is that I think teams work much better if we are on an eye level and everybody is invited to participate in decision-making processes. And this is also the point where I see a lot of creativity coming from the people. So in my processes and in my entire life, creativity is like the essence of everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. So I hear that maybe these people are oftentimes maybe a little bit scared to share their ideas and open up in a way. And you help them get out there and share and work as a team.
And again, building up trust. Trust to each other, trust in deciding together, trust in overcoming conflicts, speaking out loud. what they really need.
Mhm.
And I think change processes can only succeed if we overcome all those ideas of fixed hierarchy, that people like, I'm the boss and I know what we have to do now. Today, in our days, the boss is not the one who knows everything. The boss needs experts, and we are all experts in some sort of way.
Mhm.
And once we ask the experts, what would you think could be a solution? What would be the next good step? What should we explore? Where could we find different angles and ideas on how to find solutions to our current challenges? People become creative minds,
Yeah.
but they need to build up trust in the beginning, or to regain trust also in their leaders and in their team members.
Yeah. I like
And
that.
this is what we do as facilitators. We give the frame and the setup to really work together on a trustful eye level.
Mhm. Yeah, picking up on that, you use that word a lot, eye level, and it is such a, I would even say, foreign concept to um our modern way of doing business, and regarding the hierarchy, as you said, from companies. They're all vertically organized, right? There's the boss, and then they have the managers and their employees, and goes like that. And what that does is it destroys, in a sense, trust, but also creates fear of, losing your position, for example. If you speak up your mind and be honest and accept that you're doing maybe mistakes and you don't know something, be vulnerable. So I love that you approach this creating your own framework, which is organized in a very horizontal way, where everyone is the same in a sense, and everyone is free to speak up and to share, and there's no need to be scared about anything, because no one has the power or the right to rule over you, in a sense.
Of course, there are different methods of organizing a company, but in our days where everything is so complex, decision makers need experts around them. And the decision makers, of course, can encourage people to bring in ideas and to be to deliver solutions instead of being part also of the problem. It's just a very authentic idea of leadership, that you encourage and you motivate people to bring in new ideas. And this is also in our, as we call, the agile world. I mean, it's a highly VUCA world. Do you know VUCA?
VUCA? No.
VUCA means it's complex, it's uncertain.
Okay.
Our businesses are volatile, so it's changing a lot.
Yeah.
It's uncertain if we are going to have this product in 5 years' time, because everything is changing all the time. It's complex, and it's agile, which means we have to react so fast to all the developments in business day by day, right? And once you have people who have like minds that are not flexible, you have really this problem that you cannot react anymore to your market also. So if you want to motivate people to speak up, you have to listen first. Listening is one of the most underestimated leadership capacities.
Yeah. People take it for granted, and then it doesn't work. Because they don't know how to do it. Okay, yeah, that's a really good way of looking at things, and I love how you not only bring creativity to the table, but also it involves sharing and giving others the opportunity to be creative with you. So it's just like this exchange, right, of ideas and yeah, building of trust. It all works together in that sense so well.
Yeah, as a team, and we look as a team in creative industries. If you think of filmmaking, people are making a film in 30, 40 days together on a set, and they're all experts in their different areas. And it's absolutely crucial to have a common understanding how we want to implement certain terms of conduct. I mean, how we respect each other, how we listen to each other, how we respect budget restrictions, etc. So they're only experts on a set, and they have to mingle with each other and to be highly creative in a very short period of time without knowing each other. I mean, this is really like a huge challenge.
This is it in a nutshell, basically. And yeah. And the key to a successful team like that is, honest communication in that sense.
Yeah, I do warm-ups on sets. That I really do warm-ups. How do we want to work together? What is your idea? What is crucial for you?
Yeah.
And then people come in and they have ideas, and we put them on a flip chart, and we discuss it with each other, and we do a kind of, we call it factors of success. How can we be successful? What are the factors that we need? We don't talk bullshit about anybody else without saying or telling the person personally, for example.
Yeah, first. Yeah.
First.
Fair enough. Yeah, don't talk behind people's back.
Yes.
No, but I love that. You do a little, as you call, warm-ups where you put everyone on the same page, which is nice.
Yes, on the same page. And also feedback and check-ins, check-outs in the evenings. What was good? What happened today? What hits our mind? What do we need for tomorrow, etc. Just take a 10-minute break for reflection in the end of a shooting day.
Yeah. Maybe you have an example, like a specific time where they came at you with a problem, and of any type, and you had to figure out how to tackle this.
Are we talking about film sets, or are we talking about leadership?
It can be any of those two. I'll leave it up to you. Maybe you have an experience that stuck with you, and where there's a valuable lesson to being drilled out on.
Good question. I have to think.
Could have been. I mean, leadership sounds more versatile in that sense. Probably more people can relate to that than maybe a specific film set, which is mainly for photographers, film and videographers, and people that work in that field.
Let me think about it.
Sure. I'll ask you again after this next point, because I happen to know that you brought to us a very long and juicy list of advice and tips for our young audience that they can check out on.
Yeah, I brought a wonderful little list with me. Let me have a look.
These are things that if you're just trying to find new things, depending on what you do for your life or what you want to become, we'll have a few film festivals on this one that you can look, maybe plan your year around them, so you can attend these, for example, check them out online and things like that.
So now you want some hints for young creatives, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm also teaching like project management, or let's say project setup, on a European level at the SOFA School of Film Advancement. And what I really like a lot is this idea that we do not feel emotions, we do emotions. Which means emotions are there to get into motion, to start moving, right? Emotions. And we create our own emotions. And of course, we can doubt ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
But I would strongly recommend not to doubt yourself, but to allow yourself to experiment and to really look into the things that are working and not the ones that you haven't accomplished yet. So as an example, if you look at your career, Lucas, as a photographer, have you always been a good photographer right from the beginning?
Of course, come on.
Of course, I was like born with a camera in my hands. I had a camera in my hands.
Obviously, I started out pretty bad.
Good. So how did you gain experience, and how did you become better and better?
Yeah,
fail
failing.
Fast. Fail fast. Fail fast, fall down, set your crown, and walk.
Yeah, by
Get
starting,
up and walk again.
And don't be too scared to try out things, and be okay with not being good at it right away, right?
Yeah, so fail fast.
Fail fast and strong.
Yeah, and strong. So you fall down, you set up your crown, you get up, and you continue, of course.
Yeah.
And my first project, like for example at Berlinale Talents, our first academy, was a mess. It was chaotic. It was really chaotic. We had 500 talents from 140 countries, and we had a ticket system that didn't work, and people were screaming at us.
Oh, no.
But we learned fast. We failed fast, and we learned fast. And the second and the third edition, until today, the 20th edition, got better and better and improved, and was. Yeah, and this is, I think this is the process. And instead of doubting yourself, and I think doubt is a useless emotion.
Wow. That's okay. I didn't see that curveball coming at me.
Because doubt leads you on a path to nowhere. You can question yourself from time to time, but it's much more important to build up competence by experimenting and believing in your capabilities, and to trust in yourself. It gives you a lot more energy than doubting yourself. And you have to see what you accomplish and not what you haven't accomplished yet. So when I started as a photographer, like you did in the beginning, I was just, when I developed my photos in the laboratory by myself, in the dark room, black and white and so on, the first few copies and prints were not good. So you just continue and you do, and you get better. And from all experience, you get better and better.
Yeah.
So this is my first thing.
Okay,
Stop doubting yourself. Start doing your stuff and experiment, and allow yourself to fail fast, and continue with lots of more experience. And I see, like, for example, with my first clients, I wasn't really in the shape of consulting as good as as well as I'm doing it now. And I call these experiences learning experiences. It's not failing or no success. It's just a learning experience if you're not as good as you want to be. But you gain experience. And the second thing is comparison is useless. I think we shouldn't compare each other us with anybody else. There are people who might be a kind of role model, or somebody who does things as you would like to do them. But comparison is useless, because we are what we are, and we all have certain capabilities and certain ideas. And you can observe others, but I think it would be much more, it would be much better to encourage yourself to try out things instead of looking at the most professional photographer in the world and saying, oh, I'm never going to be as good as he or she is.
Yeah. Or, I mean, if I might just say something about that. That second one, I mean, they're both equally important. But the second one is so crucial, and I learned that so late in life. Because it makes you just so unhappy to, compare yourself to all those successful, beautiful people out there. And it's easy to fall into that trap of thinking, oh, why am I doing so bad in life? Why do I look so not look so sexy like these people? Why do I talk like them, act like them, be so cool? And it really is an endless loop that just brings misery to your life. And I basically adopted this mindset that I need to keep reminding myself of, because it's easy to fall out of it. To just compare yourself to who you were yesterday.
That's and the third thing, hold on a second.
Basically,
I didn't want to interrupt.
There you can see if you improve or not over time.
And the third thing is the most crucial point and recommendation I have. Look for allies, build up bonds, build up a network of complices, as we say, Komplizen.
Yeah, complices.
Complices that are working with you, and try to be respectful and appreciate everybody you are surrounded by, because your assistant or your colleague could be also your future client or your future coach or expert or company mate or whatever. Yeah. I, for example, had in Berlinale Talents, I had an assistant, and she's now one of the super duper new directors for Netflix, and she just published and presented her film together with Warner. She has a first look deal. She used to be my assistant, and she's a super duper networking partner now for me. And another assistant was the boss at the European Film Academy, and she gave me a job 10 years later. I mean, this is great. And if you build up a good network and build up your bonds and your colleagues, and if you always treat them respectfully and with a lot of fun, and you have a wonderful background of people supporting you in whatever you're doing. Because it's all about relations in the end. It's about your personality and your relations.
Yeah.
And this is really crucial.
Okay.
Treat them with love.
Yes.
Basically. And
surround yourself with quality people,
Yeah.
People that, have the same visions and goals like you do, same values. Because people who don't, they drag you down. They make you slower.
Avoid frustrated deniers. That's what I always say.
Frustrated deniers. Wow.
People who are criticizing your project.
Yeah.
People who are telling you think too big. This is never going to be realizable. You're a dreamer. You will never make it. Just avoid those people because they suck your energy. They suck your energy. And the last one, which is really important when you set up projects or companies, shine a light. Dare to be enthusiastic about your project. Dare to be really shine a light and explain people what you really want with this project or with this idea or with this new development or an initiative that you're going to build up now. Because if you are not convinced by 150%, you cannot, how do you say, anzünden?
Light up a fire in other people's
You
hearts.
can't light up others supporting you. Neither financiers nor team members. You have to inspire people and dare to be enthusiastic, dare to shine a light, and dare to explain people what you really want. And coming back to zuhören draußen or listening outside, it was so easy to convince people how important listening is in our days, also outside on the streets. Getting outside of our bubbles, it was so easy to convince people because everybody has the sense that people need to be listened to right now in order to find answers to these complex times.
Yeah. Yes. I feel that every single week with this. This is a platform that serves listening. And I just notice when I have people on the show that maybe are not used to it, right? How they get the opportunity to share the ideas to someone who is just open. And they glow. They rise up and they're like, oh, I love this. And they start like sharing, and this is, and it's changes their perspective in a way.
And we gain new insights.
Yeah.
We gain new ideas. And it's all about connection.
Yeah, totally.
So we agree on this.
Those were 4 really crucial, like, lifestyle tips, I would even say. how to run your life. All right, nice.
What else do we got?
Oh, many more. Become an expert of the area you work in. Get to know your field and the players in your field. Not to compare, but to really research what people do in your field. Getting an idea what people want. Know your allies, know your enemies. No, I'm not talking about enemies. But know your competitors. I mean, from PR wise, I would say, know where, in what kind of lake you're swimming in, and know the other fish.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean,
to use a metaphor.
Yeah. I mean, there are many reasons for that. Not only so you know where you're at, but also because you, as you said, you maybe need them in the future for anything. So, wait, I think your image just froze. Wait, let's give Christine a second here. All right, nice.
Yeah.
We're back.
Can you see me again? Okay.
We had just had a quick froze down internet.
Good. But you can still hear me properly.
Yes, I do.
Cool.
All right. Let's hear some programs people might want to check out. I heard about that before too.
Programs?
Yeah, you mentioned something in Zurich, was it?
Yeah, I was working for the Zurich Film Festival for 10 years.
Yeah.
Programming documentaries and feature films for the competitions.
Mm.
I went to many festivals all around the world.
Yeah.
From Sundance to Busan to Durban to Stockholm.
Yeah. Okay. And which should people check out? Like, let's say I'm a young filmmaker, right? I wanna
festivals.
Yeah.
In the German-speaking realm, or in Europe, or all around the world?
Ooh. You give me
question,
all these nice options. I would say let's go for Europe and maybe one worldwide.
Europe. This gives me a hard time. I mean, for German-speaking creatives, I would, of course, recommend the Berlinale, which is an audience festival.
Yeah, which is going on right now, by the
currently
way.
running for another week. I would also recommend Doc Leipzig, which is a documentary festival in Germany. Wonderful festival with like 400 documentaries.
Okay.
I would, abroad, I would strongly recommend Toronto Film Festival and Hot Docs. As you can see, I'm a passionate about documentaries.
Yeah,
so Hot Docs
now that
is
you
like
say
hot
it, even in the
documentaries.
beginning.
It's in April. It's wonderful. I love it. And coming back in autumn, what shall I say? November. I mean, Copenhagen is also wonderful. And ITFA in Amsterdam, the International Documentary Festival in Amsterdam, is also very cool. 500 feature documentaries in 1 week.
Okay, good. So we got a few that people can check out, and depending on where they live and where they want to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, Zurich Film Festival, but the prices are pretty high.
Okay.
Like in Zurich, you pay like €20 for a ticket. It's different in Amsterdam.
Okay. How different? Like, is it for free or?
No, you have an accreditation and you pay like €150 and you can watch all over every day, like 5 to 6 to 7 documentaries.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, these festivals always go, up and down prices depending on where they are, how big they are, how much content they're offering. Are we leaving anything on your list? Do you have anything else? I don't want to leave anything behind in that sense.
No,
I mean, you gave already a lot.
We touched a lot of subjects. And there's a lot to say. And for the German-speaking people, I'm still offering the virtual circle for creative people.
Well, I can check that out, if I may ask.
On my website. And for the German-speaking territory, right?
Maybe now this is as a natural like takeover. Share with the audience where exactly they can find how it's called, what they need to Google, and maybe throw some Instagram in there as well.
Yeah, it's on my website. It's on changeanimal.com. And you can find it under events on the German version of the website, because I'm doing it for Austria, Switzerland, and Germany. Right.
Okay, sweet. And you can just sign up and
you just come by. It's Wednesday morning, once a month.
All right. It's in person, yes?
It's in person. Yeah, it's on Zoom. It's a virtual circle. Okay. Yeah. It's called Virtueller Zirkel für die Kreativwirtschaft. So virtual circle for creatives.
Okay. And who would you recommend that to? What's like the
all
ideal?
People working in the creative area. It's open. We have a lot of filmmakers, journalists, designers, photographers, lots of different people.
What can you expect to learn there? Like
different tools and methods that encourage and help us in our business life. Like, for example, I mean, we had like 70 different events in the past. And we're offering tools and methods like from listening capacities to design thinking, to Scrum, to agile methods, to resilience, to mindfulness trainings, embodiment, presencing, voice, breathing, everything. I mean, everything that helps us to ease our lives.
All right. Sweet.
Creative
sounds
lives.
exciting. I wanted to ask you as well to share with the audience the social media channels you have going on that will be interesting to them.
You mean mine or different ones?
Yours.
Yeah. It's Change Animal on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn.
All right.
Christine von Fragstein. It's YouTube.
Yeah, okay, I didn't check that out.
And it's, of course, Zuhören draußen on Instagram, Facebook, and next week we start on LinkedIn. And we also have a YouTube channel with our keynotes on listening.
All right, sweet. Ooh, okay. I need to check out the YouTube channel. I didn't see that yet.
Yeah, we just started. It's only 2 videos now.
Okay. Okay, so we're coming to an end, and we have touched on many different topics so far. We have talked about you and your background, how you ended up getting into this industry of managing all these different projects, and how to help teams and companies to find their creative selves in a way. I like to put it that way. Which includes a lot. And we have talked about your project, Listening Outside, and why that is important. We have talked a lot about listening, all the different aspects that includes that, right? Why is it important? What are the benefits of it? How you can improve upon listening, what are different ways you can work on yourself to be better at it. As we said, it's a skill. It's like a muscle you need to train so it gets big and strong. And it is one of the most underrated skills, soft skills, right? Nowadays. And we've talked about the importance it has now more than ever, since we're facing so many really worldwide problems at points, and that we feel so helpless against, and it makes us frustrated, and it's very easy to carry all that frustration into our personal lives and to our relationships with our environment. And we had the pleasure to hear a ton of advice and tips from you on how to live your life. basically.
How to live your creative life.
Exactly. How to live a creative and happy life. And we've heard about different festivals you should check out. At least you should know them. Maybe have a look at the website and maybe attend if you're into that. And so that was a little recap of our conversation. Before I finish this up, I always like to give an opportunity to you to share anything with us. It can be an idea to a funny story or an experience of yours that maybe we haven't talked about, or you like to share, you never get asked about. Can be anything.
But actually, I would like to maybe end our conversation with a quote that I put in to all people that I try to light up with the Zuhören draußen project. Mm-hmm. And it relates to the civil impact that listening has. Okay. Can I maybe do this? It's listening builds bridges across milieus, classes, and generations. Mm. Especially now in these times, we need more openness, tolerance, and understanding for each other. And listening is the key to this, and it promotes respectful values of our civil society. This is what we talked about today also.
So, okay.
This is most important. Yeah.
Summary.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of your mission, right? Your
to have an impact on civil society. Mm-hmm. And we start in Düsseldorf, but we have like 8 cities interested in the listening, free listening.
I love it.
So we're thinking, how to develop this all further.
Okay, sweet. And expand to other cities. I love that. Love it, love it. Be the change, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. With those inspiring words, we're getting to the end. Thank you, Christine, for being with here and sharing some lovely time in this conversation, trying to inspire our listeners and make a difference there.
Thank you very much, Lucas. I'm looking forward to seeing you in person. I mean, we're in the same city.
Exactly, we live in the same city, but now we have to.
Tomorrow, we're doing an empathy walk tomorrow in the city with lonesome people.
Ooh.
So if you want to join, we meet every weekend.
Okay. I'll hit you up on
walks.
that. Yeah, I'll definitely be a part of one and walk and close my mouth and open my ears. All right, Christine, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. We're all busy. Thank you all for listening as well to this episode. Feel free to check out Christine's website and social media accounts. They will all be obviously linked and listed in the description of this episode and all social posts. This has been a blast. Thank you so much. I'm Lucas, and this was the Creative Cast. Been the best part of my life.